So something new is happening where, interesting, there we go, reset, where the internet was playing up. That's not happened before. So I was doing midway through a reflection on Hexagram 32, and I may or may not do a video on the rest of that reflection. If you're keen to hear it, then let me know, and I'll do a separate video just on the reflections. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on going. All right, share screen. My Kindle, baby. Now, this one, Hexagram 55. Now, for those of you that have come from the Gene Keys or come from human design, 55 is a big one related to where we're going right now as a collective. And since I've started contemplating this version of the I Ching, the Gene Key synthesis and human design feel even less and less relevant. And one of the spiritual, one of the people that I was following for a while, just mirrored that too. Just speaking to how Gene Keys and human design are just a few degrees off truth. And while they're very attractive systems and they can help us reiterate what we believe our ego is attached to about why we're here and what our purpose is, ultimately they don't connect you with yourself. They don't. They put the future over there into the future. Like, oh, it's over there instead of right here, right now. What I love about this, the I Ching, this version of the I Ching, the Oracle of the Cosmic Way, it's about now. It's about saying no to things that happen to you right now. It's about removing things, and in that removal, you remember yourself. That's where I see we're all going, and that's what I think is the truth. Not adding more to our personalities, removing what's been added over our conditioning through childhood, remembering who we really are, right? Now, how do you remember through this system? It's being able to say no to the blocks, the beliefs, the poison arrows, the spells, the imps, the demons, the dragons that we've taken on board to become loved by our caregivers or whoever else in our life partners. We have to change who we are to become something that we're not, which keeps us trapped in the collective ego. Anyway, I'll have more of my contemplations at the end of this 55, unless the internet drops out again. Well, it's like, okay, cool. That's that. 55, abundance. And I called in this bad boy the 4th of May, so yesterday, and I called in line 5 for me. The judgment. Abundance has success. The king attains abundance. Be not sad. Be like the sun at midday. It's going to stand up. All right. This hexagram shows the difference between abundance as a cosmic principle and abundance as defined by the collective ego. Cosmic abundance refers to a variety of things, so I'm going to list off a whole bunch of things here. Abundance of caring feelings, abundance of prosperity and progress, abundance in regard to life and its limitlessness, abundance in the forms in which life takes place, whether they be visible or invisible, abundance in caring, help, and nourishment for all the needs of life, abundance in our cosmic possessions, abundance in help to bring us back to unity with the cosmic whole, abundance of gifts, such as the gift of love, abundance in cosmic patience with humans, abundance of space for creativity, such as for the expression of life, abundance both of inner and outer space, abundance of space for evolving our consciousness, abundance in the sage's teachings, abundance of health. Unlike the conventional idea of abundance, cosmic abundance is in a dimension to which linear and cyclical limitations do not apply. It is not followed by times of lack or decay because the abundance is continually ensured through transformations. I'll say that again. It is not followed by times of lack or decay because the abundance is continually ensured through transformations. The collective ego defines abundance solely in terms of what a person possesses on the outer plane, typically This kind of abundance is the result of the human centered view that nature and all the things in the universe are there to serve humans. In this view, abundance means power and influence, titles, wealth, possessions, knowledge, wisdom, public recognition, rights and privileges, and the right for a person to believe anything he chooses and to do anything he can amass the power to do. I'm going to read that again. In this view, abundance means power and influence, titles, wealth, possessions, knowledge, wisdom, public recognition, rights and privileges, and the right for a person to believe anything he chooses and to do anything he can amass the power to do. And to do anything he can amass the power to do. Even this view is ironic because, as history shows, abundance in all these things is inextricably dependent upon a hierarchical ordering of society, meaning that abundance is available only for the few at the top at the expense of the people at the bottom. This abundance creates an overabundance in the human population, which is necessary to uphold abundance at the top. Therefore, it also creates an abundance of poverty, sickness, perversion of natural values, and damage to nature and the natural order. Necessary to this system are an abundance of mistaken ideas about the cosmic way, an abundance of fears and fantasies, and an abundance of human power, arrogance, and ignorance to keep the system under control. The image connected with this abundance is power expressed as culture at its height. History characteristically attributes all the great achievements of culture to humans and ties them especially to the most powerful regimes. What is omitted from this description is the fact that every significant achievement is a gift of the cosmos. Discoveries such as penicillin are a case in point. The discovery came entirely as a laboratory accident. Nevertheless, the man who was working on the project was subsequently honored with the Nobel Prize for the discovery. The I Ching makes us aware that in all such cases where the person has claimed the achievement for himself, the good effect of the discovery gradually dissipates. Penicillin was one of those nature's helpers that, through being treated wrongly, has waned in its overall effectiveness because the helpers have gradually retreated from it. When, however, an individual asks the helpers to help him when applying the remedy, they return for him. While the collective ego would say abundance, in terms of possessions, power, etc., is the measure of success, we are guided to see that the words abundance has success refer to an attitude that leads to success. Just want to highlight that. True modesty is the attitude that constantly draws the help of the helpers. The consequence is the abundance of the gifts the helpers bring. Modesty occurs when a person recognizes the beneficial nature of the cosmos and the fact that all the gifts and blessings of his life come from that source. His attitude is attained when a person rids himself of all the mistaken ideas of what abundance is and how it comes about. He also needs to delete from his inner program negative phrases and images that block abundance, such as, here we go, there is nothing but poverty in the world. Life is hard. Abundance cannot be for everyone. Abundance does not last. It's a jungle out there. It's a dog eat dog world. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. It is easier to pass a camel through the eye of a needle than that a rich man may enter the kingdom of heaven. To be spiritual is to be poor, etc. The king attains abundance, reflects the feudal view that abundance is for the rich and powerful. This view makes poor people believe that they are not meant to have abundance and to accept the phrase, that's the way things are. Be not sad. That's the way things are. Be not sad can be the consoling phrase of the collective ego, with the implication being you will get your reward in the afterlife. Just going to highlight that one. Such phrases, which accept poverty as one's natural condition, disable the helpers so that the phrases become self fulfilling prophecies. When not inhibited by mistaken ideas, the caring nature of the cosmos would have us live in abundance, having all we need for our well being. When we recognize that being fulfilled has to do with a healthy relationship with nature and the cosmos, which also provides us with nourishment, help, and protection, and also material possessions in abundance, a feeling of self worth, and a recognition of the greatness that lies in small things, there is no need for greed, the building up of large funds for security, outward display of possessions, power over others, or for protection by security systems. A person who focuses on these things is unaware of the continuous fates he is creating, the purpose of which is to rob him of what he has actually stolen from nature and from the cosmos by acting upon his human centered view. Be not sad, be like the sun at midday can also be the words of the sage, telling us that although things look bleak at the moment, we are on the way to abundance due to the help of the helpers. Spells connected with this hexagram are created by phrases implying an acceptance of the inevitability of poverty, bad health, mistreatment by others, or any other negative condition. Such phrases and beliefs shut out the help available from the helpers. This hexagram tells him that by deleting these spells, he will experience abundance as freedom from those conditions. See page 550, Deprogramming Procedure. The hexagram also counsels that a person is not meant to meekly accept his fate, but rather to understand its lesson and thereby free himself from it. All fates can be extinguished. The lines. Line one, when a man meets his destined ruler, they can be together 10 days, and it is not a mistake. Going meets with recognition. The ruler in this line can refer to either the cosmic consciousness or to the collective ego. The line is saying that when a person is in harmony with the cosmos, he experiences all things as abundance. He is nourished by the beauty of the flower, the light of the sun, the refreshment of the rain, and when deprived of these, is able to hear the inner music of the heart. When he is in this state of inner harmony, help pours in from the cosmos. When a person is in unity with the cosmic consciousness, he is subject to a different realm of time, which is unlimited in nature. 10 days expressed this 10 days expresses this relative quality and says that abundance depends on the person's remaining in harmony, for when he listens to the ego's whisperings, he allows it to appropriate its glorification that has been what has been. Let's say this whole line again. 10 days expresses this relative quality and says that abundance depends on the person's remaining in harmony, for when he listens to the ego's whisperings, he allows it to appropriate to its glorification what has been received. This initiates the eclipse described in the following lines, causing the person to lose all he has gained. The words, "it is not a mistake," refer to his vigilance to quell these attempts by the ego at their onset. He does not wait a whole day, as put in hexagram 16, enthusiasm. When this line refers to the collective ego, the reference to 10 days is to the time limit put upon the success a person gains through following its ways. It points to the inevitable fall that follows upon every rise. For example, the fall of the ancient empires and their leaders, Rome, the fall of modern dictators, Napoleon, Hitler, Stalin, the fall of great republics, or the decline of rich families. making the point that everything that depends on the collective ego is inferior in its success. Inferior meaning lasting for a very short time. Because of the relativity of cosmic time, this line points to the idea of immortality as falsely implying the existence of mortality. In turn, mortality defines life's purpose in terms of greatness or insignificance. All these ideas cast a melancholic light on life that stops its abundance. Going meets with recognition refers to one who has the hidden desire to fulfill the collective ego's idea that immortality is achieved through doing deeds that cause one to go down in history. Receiving this line can also point to phrases about what makes a person great. Examples are hard work is the path to greatness, and he that serves the greater glory of God will himself be made great. Saying the inner no to such phrases frees the psyche of them and reunifies them with the cosmos. Reunifies one with the cosmos. Line 2. The curtain is of such fullness that the pole stars have been seen at noon. If one rouses him through truth, clarity comes. The curtain refers to the darkening effect of a solar eclipse. It is so complete that the stars of the Dipper can be seen at noon. The picture is a metaphor of a complete misunderstanding. This line calls attention to the chief cause of misunderstanding, the false use of language, which creates misunderstandings about life and the cosmic way. The curtain is a metaphor for the veil that is drawn over the cosmic truths by mistaken beliefs and their expression through language. The false use of language starts with words that have come from thinking which is not based on feeling. Such words are removed from the specific to the abstract, from practical everyday life to the clouds. The resulting misunderstandings eclipse common sense, creating a reverse world. Language is meant to express the feelings of inner truth, which is in harmony with the cosmic truths. False words divert the person to considering the ego's endless rationales that support its lifeless abstractions. An example is the way the collective ego flatters and then harnesses the intuitive mind to create and maintain the myths which support its dominance. The legendary emperor Fu Si, monumentalized as the creator of culture due to his having invented fishing, agriculture, and the I Ching, is an example. The myth served both to elevate humans over other creatures due to their cultural achievements and to justify the need for rulers, thus the feudal system itself. Through such myth making, language has been perverted, blocking its true function to express inner truth. If one rouses him through truth, is speaking of a person who is under the spell of myths. It is saying that an opening can be created in his understanding if another asks for the sage in his presence to intervene and make him realize that all the conventional answers given him by his beliefs have not provided him with the real help he needs. It makes him ready to hear his own truth and to engage with the feeling intelligence of the sage, which harmonizes with his own common sense. The curtain can also refer to prejudices a person has, for example, about what is ancient. That is, he may regard the I Ching as a pure source of wisdom just because it is ancient. His awe prevents him from benefiting from the help it can give, even though he uses the RTCM to clarify the intended meaning with the sage. The curtain refers to the pedestal on which the person has put the I Ching. He looks at it as a sacred text embodying absolute rules that must not be questioned. This attitude keeps him from discovering how he can learn from the alive consciousness that speaks through it and from putting what he learns to use in his life. Receiving this line is to make him aware that his attitude has created a fate that has manifested as illness. Line 3. The underbrush is of such abundance that the small stars can be seen at noon. He breaks his right arm, mistake, but no blame. Here, the eclipse of understanding is total. The program installed in a person's psyche by the collective ego is so full of false explanations of the fundamental nature of the cosmos that were the truth so plain as the nose on his face, the person could not see it. The half truths, which are at the basis of all belief systems, need a huge body of rationales to dismiss the objections common sense would normally make if the person were to look at the belief's basic premises. Say that again. The half truths, which are at the basis of all belief systems, need a huge body of rationales to dismiss the objections common sense would normally make if the person were to look at the belief's basic premises. The rationales distract him from noticing the absurdity of these basic premises. He is likewise prevented from examining these premises by a number of taboos that say he would become guilty if he questioned them. He breaks his right arm refers to a person whose common sense has been made ineffective due to conditioning during his youth. It also refers to inhibitions installed through threat of punishment that have disabled his ability to say the inner no. Thus, he is stuck in the psychic problems created by his belief system. In order to free his common sense, he first needs to free his ability to say the inner no. See 531, saying the inner no. I made a video from that. Then he needs to deprogram the following half-truths and untruths. 1. The poison arrow that he was born with original fault or guilt. 2. The spell saying that the eyes alone can see the truth. 3. The spell that says thinking is superior to feeling. He may ask the sage through the RTCM whether any spells or poison arrows are contributing to keeping his common sense imprisoned. As long as a person is under the influence of the above mentioned spells and the poison arrow, he is not consulting the sage at all, but is reading the I Ching as a book of ancient wisdom, extracting it. I'm going to read this again. As long as a person is under the influence of the above mentioned spells and poison arrow, he is not consulting the sage at all, but is reading the I Ching as a book of ancient wisdom, extracting from it only that which supports his beliefs. The small stars refer to his seeing everything but the truth. To make sure that he correctly understands what the sage wants to tell him, he needs to use the RTCM. I'm going to highlight that. No blame counsels that there will be no more cause for blame if he corrects this way of consulting the I Ching. Line 4. The curtain is of such fullness that the pole stars can be seen at noon. He meets the sage. Blessings. Double check what pole stars means. Does not look like I have one. Just going to jump in checking it. And the star of Polaris, the second magnitude. Guide, a lodestar. Great. Center of attraction. So a pole star, a directing principle. It's also known as a North Star, a directing principle, guide, center of attraction. Right. Cool. This line, so in context, what I'm hearing in that, the curtain is of such fullness that the pole stars can be seen in. So the guiding star, whatever is the source of the attraction, center of the attraction, can be seen at noon. Normally, you can't see stars at noon, but you can. Right. I love the analogies in these lines. This line can refer to a person who is dying or has died. His death needs to be understood as the end of a fate that he had created by holding to mistaken beliefs about life and death. His death, however, brings the good fortune that with the end of his fate, he is reunited with the cosmic consciousness. What rules is the ultimate unity of the cosmos, which supersedes life and death. This cosmic help comes just when a person recognizes his great need for help. What is shown here is the abundant love for the love. What is shown here is the abundant love the cosmos has for everything that is part of it. It is true that the belief that death eclipses life leads to the eclipse of a person's inner light, but the law of fate precludes that anyone should remain in eternal darkness forever. This mistaken belief is fostered by the collective ego to threaten people into compliance with its moral rules. See page 559, glossary death. Line 5. Lines are coming. Blessing and fame draw near. Fulfillment. Because a person has achieved a correct understanding of the cosmic principle of abundance and has rid himself of his respective mistaken beliefs, lines of helpers are coming, bringing blessings. Fame here, although wrongly named, refers to the recognition and validation given to a person's true self by the cosmos in the form of material gifts in abundance. Thus, the line states the cosmic principle that inner clarity is the prerequisite to prosperity that endures. This line also addresses the collective ego's idea of blessings, as fame a person achieves by seeking out other humans with whom he hopes to achieve great deeds. His fault lies in his ambition. This line wants to make him aware that the blessings he has been expecting from the cosmos are not forthcoming because he has created a fate. It can be extinguished if he rids himself of the self image of the heroic person. Lines are coming can also refer to a person who believes in personal and global prophecies given by fortune tellers or prophets. I'm just going to highlight that. I'm going to come back to that. While each person comes into this life with a set of inner directives, symbolized by the pole star, his life is not spelled out in detail or predetermined. Often, he will lose sight of his directives, but the adversities created by this make him reflect and pull him back toward them, without any guarantee that he will fulfill them. The sage in each person's presence and his personal helper are ever present to help him fulfill those directives, but everything depends upon what he wills himself to do and whether or not he asks for the available help. Asks for the help available. Lines are coming can refer to the momentary glimpses a person receives throughout his life which tell him of his destiny. These glimpses enable him to put all the seemingly disparate interests, pursuits, and events of his life into a meaningful perspective. The events have only been waiting to be seen as the perfect preparation to bring his uniqueness to full expression. This perspective shows the ultimate economy of the cosmic way. No experience in a person's life is wasted if he is willing to see everything as a preparation for the final fulfillment of his life in a body. Line 6. His house is in a state of abundance. Nevertheless, he screens off his family. He peers through the gate and no longer perceives anyone. For 3 years, he sees nothing. Misfortune. Here, abundance refers to a person's arrogant self image of being the one who did it all. It may be that he sees himself as the virtuous and capable helper who credits himself with the good that has been achieved. He therefore appropriates the cosmic gifts to his personal advantage, using them to his glory or to gain power over others. Misfortune refers to the fate he has created as a consequence. This line can also refer to a person who amasses wealth and power through his contrivance and cleverness. Such a person has stolen his wealth from the cosmos and from nature. Through his blind arrogance and self absorption, he is described here as no longer perceiving anyone. This and peering through the gate mean that he sees others only as tools to serve his interests. Misfortune, as above, refers to the resulting fate. The words 3 years refer to the spell he has placed on his senses of inner and outer seeing. A person can also receive this line because he is putting a spell on someone else by characterizing him as blindly arrogant, or through envying, peering through the gate, as abundance of wealth, power, or knowledge. By doing so, he also puts a spell on himself. The line can also refer to a person who exploits nature by looking at it as an object, the only purpose of which is to serve his interests. He not only creates a fate for himself, he also puts a spell on the things he exploits. This line can also indicate one who is under an abundance of spells. To rid himself of them, he needs to ask the sage for guidance to identify them. This might involve asking for one or more hexagrams. This line also refers to the person who, through blessings by the cosmos, focuses on negative things and therefore can no longer see things as they truly are. In doing so, he loses his connection with the cosmos, which is the misfortune mentioned. Great. My reflections. Do not have to stick around for these. All right. So, what I hear in this, and a lot of the people that I work with and will be working with, um, come from a place of less than, like they feel inadequate at some level. And what can also show up is this competition when they look to other people in their life, like peering through the gate, and they can see, oh, this person's got wealth, this person's got relationships, this person's got like a huge crypto portfolio or real estate portfolio or this, or they're top shelf, or they're better than me, or they know how to keep up with the Joneses, or you know, they travel overseas, or they do this, or right. So in this, and being mindful here to not create culprits, okay, not create guilt, okay. And I'm going to speak to it anyway because I can. This is what I want to say. The more we pay attention to ourselves, the more we just stay in our own lane, the easier our life becomes. The collective ego will want you to look outside of yourself. It'll want you to compare. It'll want you to get all kinds of qualifications. It'll want you to keep up with the Joneses, even though the Joneses are destined for fate, right? If they're not operating in their own truth, their own truest inner truth. And what I've found in the people that do have wealth is that they're not living their inner truth, right? They make their money to escape into what they really want to do, right? They use crypto or they buy real estate or they do something else. And then from the wins of that, the gains of that, that's when they feel like they're living their most true selves. Okay. You can do both, but it's going to require you to put down the self images and the accolades and everything else of the collective ego, right? Line 5. So line 5 was it line 5? What did I get for this one? What are we looking at? It was 55. Yeah, cool. So line 555, abundance. And this is line 5 was the line 5 was the line that I got. So what was really helpful for me in the line 5 was being able to take stock of everything I've ever done. all of the highs, all of the lows, and know that it's in preparation for my final fulfillment of life in my body. To know that all the relationships that didn't work, all the money that I've spent on coaches, healers, mentors, therapists, all that, right? All the things that all of my experiences, it's not wasted. Everything's been a gift to me. Everything's been some form of nudging or celebration of who I am, right? And in that, I've been selling so much of my stuff. Like I sold my car this year. Fuck, that was this year. Sold my car this year. There's anything that is no longer aligned. Books, things, getting rid of it. My plant medicines, giving it away, or selling it, because a lot of that stuff I got by not being me, being something else, trying to be something else, listening to other people. All right. Lines are coming can also refer to a person who believes in prophecies and personal and global prophecies given by fortune tellers or prophets. I've got a deck of cards that's one of my favorite deck of cards, and I've stopped using them. Like from the Josephine McCarthy deck, I've stopped using cards. I've stopped using them. I've stopped listening to all of the old fortune tellers and prophecies and all the Gene Keys prophecies and the human design prophecies and all that, even the prophecies that were given to me. Like I was told that my business is going to take off when I'm 50. That's 5 more years. It's a spell put on my life that I listen to people because of wherever Pluto was going to be in my chart. That's mechanical. It's not how the world works. It's not how the cosmic harmony works. Right? So all these prophecies, whatever it is, it's not how cosmic harmony works. Right? We've been led to believe that there's people out there that have information for us. For me, a lot of my work is about questioning. I ask a question. I hear a question when someone's asking me something. Right? John, what do you think? I don't know. What do you think? John, this is going on for me. Yeah, what do you think about that? That's questions are the answers. Okay, questions are the answers, and I can hear the questions. In all of this, how I see myself, the self-image in all of this is a helper of the feelings manager. When you read the I Ching, there's a helper called the feelings manager. I help people connect to their feelings manager inside of them because the feelings manager gets written off. It's been written off, I feel, in where we've gone with the collective ego. Don't listen to your feelings. Just think your way through it, right? How many of you have been thinking your way through life and it's ended you up where you are today? Blessings. I've had so many blessings. You may have heard this in some of my other podcasts or videos. Every night, Cassie and I reflect on what we were grateful for, and all of our blessings. Okay, Luca. I asked Luca now, what's your highlight? He's obsessed with trains right now. It's hilarious. I love it. Oh, a train ride? Cutesy. Here we go. Where else I want to go in here? Yes, getting a relationship with the helpers. There's a big part of me in this is being able to be saying the inner no to that impulse to want to create, the impulse to want to put my work out there. Facebook and social media is the worst at activating the ego. All right. I'll see a post straight away. My ego goes, you can make another post like that. You can counter that one. You can add to that. You can anytime you feel like you want to add to that, give an advice or something, it's most likely going to be the ego. Okay. The true self is silent. The true self is present. There's a common sense knows when to move, right? The image I had just then was in Karate Kid, if you've seen it, where he catches the fly. I was like, in the chopsticks, right? You're just silent. You're just with it. To make sure that he correctly understands what the sage wants to tell him, he needs to use the RTCM. Yes, if you're listening to this and you haven't been using the RTCM, get 3 coins, please. I use 3 5-cent pieces. You can carry them in your pocket, put them in the car. Cassie keeps asking, why is there money everywhere? So, my little stacks of 3 coins throughout the house, right? Find it, use it, right? Put them in your pocket. I have some in the car. I have some upstairs in my room. I have some I carry in a little resealable pouch that I put in my laptop bag or the bag I'm carrying my water in. All right. There's a balance to using it. Okay. Just like anything, like I had a friend that would be completely obsessed about kinesiology and muscle testing. Everything. Oh, it's just yes or no. Oh yeah, or someone would do divination cards. They pull out the tarot. Got to make a decision. Tarot, thing. The same thing can happen to the RTCM. All right. It's not about outsourcing your life to the RTCM because you're asking a sage, you're asking a teacher, you're asking something else. All right. You'll get the lessons when you learn how to be modest, right? And the modesty includes being aware of your fear and terror of missing out, being aware of being made to be guilty of like an agreement or something, okay? And being able to be aware of the guilt programming is really, 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 really important. For example, I said I was going to pay rent this week. I was 5 days late on rent this week, right? The guilt was showing. I need to go. I need to make more money. I need to go do this. I need this. No, stop. Let it hit the ground metaphorically, right? Rich families making the point that everything that depends on the collective ego is ephemeral in its success. Rich families who do not have a healthy internal life, their wealth is gone in 3 generations. That's the fate. If your inner life is bankrupt, then there's a good chance if you're not paying attention to the fates and listening to life, listening to your common sense, then it just disappears. It just goes until you're ready to have a look at all that stuff, right? And what shows up, particularly in wealthy families, and I've worked with a few, is that their children get medicated, which stops them from listening to their common sense. The emotions that were important in giving the indication to the pole star are muted. So not only is their compass spinning or looking at the wrong true north, is that their map is incorrect too, because the parents are telling them to go and do a thing, or their peers, you need to go get medicated, sure. And maybe you do need that as part of your life. But from the way I've seen it, is that medication just mutes. It mutes, mutes, mutes your common sense. So you can't listen to what the cosmos is trying to tell you. And on the flip side, people that are not embodied, for example, the high end spectrum of the leaving pattern becomes schizophrenic. So they can't tell who's them, who's the cosmos, who's the voices in their heads. They end up with alts in mainstream psychiatry, alts or alters, where this other thing comes over you because you're not in your body. Do you really belong here? Do you want to be here? It's a leaving pattern issue. The hexagram also counsels that a person is not meant to meekly accept his fate, but rather to understand its lesson and thereby free himself from it. All fates can be extinguished. All fates can be extinguished, okay? And in this, meekness, right? The Bible, and for those of you who are Christians and love the Bible, if you're reading this book, I encourage you to see the Abrahamic religions for what they are. That's Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. Okay. Because in this, the meek will inherit the earth. Meek is staying small. Meek is accepting your lower than state. Okay. And in the context of this book, everything is equal. You are unique. And in that, all fates can be extinguished when you listen to them. When you listen to these spells, these poison arrows, these demons, these imps, like imps, man, I found computers in particular sow a lot of imps into me. I can feel them. Oh, that thing comes up. Oh, that personal neglect thing that shows up. Oh, that's that imp, right? And imps are just part and parcel of the cosmos, just indicating to you, hey, you're not listening to your body. What's your body telling you? Listen to your common sense. Go and spend some time outside. Go do something else. Go and do something else. Spells connected with this hexagram are created by phrases implying an acceptance of the inevitability of poverty, bad health, mistreatment by others, or any other negative condition. Okay? There's a great bunch of lists there. What was it? You will get rewarded in the afterlife. You will get rewarded in the afterlife. The bait and switch of mainstream religion. Right? And I was part of a mega church where one of the guilt Guilt, remember, guilt is not real. Guilt is installed by the collective ego to keep you under its control. You will be rewarded in the afterlife. You will get your reward in the afterlife. I remember at church, in the mega church I was at, the guilt was give now. If you don't give now, who knows what kind of house you could end up with in heaven, right? The more you give, the bigger the house. You know, I got this vision from God with all these people and all these people that would give all the time. They had huge houses, you know, some of these what's it? Near death experiences. I had this vision, you know. They put people up on the stage, sowing even more guilt under the collective through the collective ego, right? It feels off. If you're connected to your body, it feels off, right? Abundance is for the rich and powerful. There's some really important seed phrases here, like dog eat dog world. It's a dog eat dog world, you know. Got to charge what I charge. You know, if I don't get it, somebody else will. If I don't get this deal, somebody else will. If I don't put a tender in for this, you know, whatever it is. No, the eye of a needle. It is easier to pass a camel through the eye of a needle than that a rich man may enter the kingdom of heaven. My dad would say that to me all the time, right? But then became completely confused in himself about trying to amass wealth to buy property or buy this or buy that, right? The truth is in the action. The truth is in the body, right? The kingdom of heaven. What even is that? Guilt. Attitude that leads to success. Attitude, attitude. Attitude is a combination of the body and psyche. Okay. So you can think your way into motivation. You can think your way, I'm going to get motivated, going to do this thing, right? Attitude is a felt sense. Attitude is a felt sense. Okay. And it comes from being in the truth of who you are, right? What can show up here is the ego can hijack attitude to be like when you start surrounding yourself with people who cheer on the collective ego. For example, you sell your body to go buy something to high five all of your friends who have got the same thing. So I need to buy a boat. I need to make a lot of money and go buy a boat. That way I can high five all the other billionaires that have boats, right? No, the collective ego's hijacked your attitude. Listen to the body. Listen to what it's telling you. This is when community that is attuned to who you are is so important, because when you love yourself, you naturally attract community that resonates with where you're at. And when you don't love yourself, you get the same thing. You get community that resonates where you are at, who only love the external things and or have this conflated, confusing relationship with the inner life and outer life. True modesty is the attitude that constantly draws the help of the helpers. Being, acting, speaking in your own unique truth that's unique to you. Okay, unique to you. It's unique, not special, unique. Okay. In this view, abundance means power and influence, titles, wealth, possessions, knowledge, wisdom, public recognition, rights and privileges, and the right for a person to believe anything he chooses and to do anything he can amass the power to do. This is where we're at. This is the crossroads. This is delicious. Okay. Not that I'm making them culpable and I can feel I need to detangle an image here. I'm not putting blame on these people, right? Yeah, you did this, right? Yeah, all you politicians, you know, all you people that have all this power and make life hard, you know, all the public health systems, you know, all you people that work in biotech that have all these cures for things, that haven't released them because, you know, you've got a 20-year plan to make sure all of your products can line up with each other, right? That's true, by the way. So in that, it's still looking to the collective ego for the solutions for the collective ego, which is what the collective ego does. It wants, that's why tax the rich. Okay. It's still the same thing. Tax the rich, right? The same thing. That's all collective ego. Collective ego creates the problem and then offers the solution. Like, it's ingenious. So when you start saying no to all of this internally, you find an inner grounding that's uniquely yours. It's uniquely yours. All right. So this hexagram 55, abundance, is indicating that what we've been told about abundance and how we market it, like with all these abundance coaches out there, and all these people out there selling us abundance, it's not true. It's a lie. It's part of the collective ego to try and sew you or sell you into things that effectively sell yourself and sell other people into this model. The collective ego is the original Ponzi scheme. It's the original Amway. It's the original. It's the original. And it's still the best at some level because it's just so good at doing what it does because it's had eons of practice. Because to guide yourself back into collective harmony means saying no to a lot of things that may have got you success or friendships or support or a roof over your head for most of your life. Right. That's what I have. Thank you so much for listening to my contemplations. And I'll see you in the next I Ching, which from the one I got today was 15. And we'll go from there. All right. Mad love. Bye.